And of course, that's partly because you've got Chris Clement, Charlie Raglan, Ryan Broom, Alex Adai, Rhys Lovett, Archie Brennan, and of course Luke Varney, all tied up literally before the end of last season or immediately afterwards. So was that almost a bit of a peace of mind almost for you, having a bit of a little bit of a break in the summer, knowing that actually you've got that core of squad there?
It will give you a call, like you said. I think it gives the supporters a little bit of hope as regards to it's not going to get ripped up and start again. I've said from the start there needs to be more continuity in the club, which is something that we're hoping to bring. We don't want 15 out, 15 in every year because it's difficult. It's difficult to get a buy-in from the supporters. It's difficult to do it full stop. To build a successful team, because it's probably not luck, isn't one, but to put 20 players together every year and to get it to click every year, it's difficult. So that's not what we want to add 3, 4, 5, lose 3, 4, 5. That's how we ideally want to move, but it isn't an ideal world. And there's a long time to go. The players have all the power at the start of the summer because they all think, oh, I'll go and get X amount of money at this level. And then as pre-season gets closer and closer, the players start realising, well, I might not have a club, because no one would have thought Luke Varney last year would have got to the end of August and not have a club. And you look at the player that he is, the personality that he has, but that's the risk that they take at this level. But we have got there's lots of work going on. Like you said, I sat down with you for 5 minutes and the phone's gone twice already, so it's that's just the world we live in.
When you play for Cheltenham, of course, a lot of your teammates from then, their sort of appearance figures for Cheltenham were 3 figures. Like you said, that hasn't quite been the case, perhaps for a number of years now, but the fact that you've got lads like Ryan Broom, Charlie Raglan on 2-year deals, building on the fact they've already been here for a year, hopefully does mean there's going to be an affinity, and those lads, a bit like your Will Boyles, your Scott Flinders, are going to be getting to 3-figure appearances and actually being here for a while and building a relationship, which is so important with the fans.
I think the game's changed since I was playing at this level. The players do seem to be year here, disappear, 18 months here, disappear, and that's tough. It's a nomadic life at this level because the players go for where the money is generally. Not always, but when we were playing at this level, the money was a bit more even as regards to across the league. It was pretty similar-ish, so you're better off staying where you are. Whereas now the disparity is the same as the Premier League. The disparity between the top and the bottom is big, the same as what it is in this league. So, and players are human beings. They've got mortgages, they've got family to pay, families and kids to pay for. So no one can blame them. But I think it is important that if you can get settled and find a home, often your football takes care of itself.
One man who won't be coming back, and I'm sure you've moved on quickly, Nigel Atangana, of course, has gone to Exeter. I suppose with a player of that sort of power and strength in midfield is always going to be a big appeal to a League 2 team, and unfortunately we're not going to have him this season.
No, Nigel, I spoke to Nigel a couple of days. We offered him a contract, and he was close to signing it, I think, but he obviously got offered something better at Exeter. So we wish him all the best. I think he'd done well for the club. Every time he played for the club, he gave them all. He had an unlucky injury, and we offered him a contract which we thought was, well, as good as what we could offer him, and we wish him the best. Now Nigel's obviously had a serious injury, so you never know if you're going to come back the same or not, but hopefully he'll be okay and he'll kick on.
And one face who is a new face in terms of first team is Archie Brennan, coming from the youth team setup. What was it about Archie that felt that he deserved to have his first professional contract?
As much as anything with Archie's his personality. Yes, we know he can play, but it's his desire, his thirst to learn. And will he get anywhere near the first team in his first year? Probably not. But it's difficult at this level because there isn't an under-23s, there isn't a middle section. Because going from under-18s to first team football's tough. But Archie will probably go out on loan and try and do his learning out on loan whilst working with us. We'll be working with him every day. We'll have him in the afternoons as well, trying to work on certain aspects of his game. One thing he does need to do, he probably needs to find his position. He's a bit of an all-rounder, which is good, but at some point he's going to need to nail down what is his best position. But they're things that we think he's shown adaptability, shown that he wants to learn, and he's on a good learning curve. So the moment the players keep doing that, you keep them. As soon as they start tailing off, it's difficult for players between 18 and 21 because they get taken on as pros, but about 85% of them are gone by the time they're 21 because there's that though they're the main development years. which is what we felt with Matt. We felt Matt hadn't developed in the last since I'd been in. Unfortunately, that's why we had to let him go. Now, hopefully, he goes and proves us all wrong, because no one's saying that we've got all the answers. I got let go 3 times and managed to prove people wrong. And genuinely hope that Matt does do that. And it's not that we don't want him to do well, it's just because we've said no. He's a young player who's got attributes to be a good footballer, but we just felt that his development had stopped.
So the season starts on the 3rd of August this year. The players are back in late June. Of course, pre-season is going to be a busy time. Your pre-season fixture schedule has been sorted. You're pretty happy with the sort of balance you've got in terms of your warm-up games?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough pre-season as regards to, because it's shorter than most. The players are in earlier than what they normally are, but it's still a shorter pre-season. It's about 5.5 weeks. It's normally 6. So we're happy with the blend of teams, the number of games, and that's why the staff are all in today. It's one of the reasons we're in, is to all touch base, see where we're all at in the different departments, tie it all together, and plan the first two weeks of pre-season, because it is important. It does need to be structured. It can't be ad hoc. This is where the sports science kicks in. The players are expected to come back fit, not like the old days. We used to go away for 8 weeks, put on 2 stone, and then run for 2 weeks without seeing a football. They're expected to come back at a level of fitness. They've been fitness tested, the body fats have been taken, and if they don't come back in within certain parameters, they will get fined, because ultimately they're professional footballers. So they're not in during the summer, but they're still getting paid. So they have to look after their bodies. So that's what they're expected to report in good shape, so we can almost hit the ground running.
From a personal perspective, how key is it for you as the manager having your own pre-season for the first time with this group?
Well, I don't know, it's my first pre-season. It is important. I think any manager will tell you at any level. To get your own ideas, it's an opportunity. It's 5 weeks of getting the fitness into them, but getting all the tactical elements in as regards to, if we play against this shape, what we can do, if we want to flip in a season. Now, it's difficult to do during the season, because you're trying to win games and prepare for games whilst doing that. The pre-season fixtures are about getting miles in the legs, nothing to do with results. Generally, pre-season is the only time you don't care about results. Supporters will get obsessed with it. We're not. It is a process, pre-season. It's about getting from A to B, and by the time you get to the end of pre-season, you want them fit, you want them fresh, and you want them aware of how we want to play. Supporters do get obsessed with results, quite rightly, but it's you don't want them at the end of pre-season fatigued. You don't want them hanging, not ready for the start of pre-season, but you need them fit as well. So it's getting the balance between all of those elements, which is one of the reasons why we're in to plan it properly.
Looking at last year's League Two, of course, had the likes of Mansfield who are right up there, Bury a very good team, MK Dons a big club, but you look ahead to this year's League Two, and again it's absolutely relentless. Some of the clubs that have come down from League One, the Plymouths, the Scunthorpes, your Bradford Cities, they're big clubs. It's lining up again to be an incredibly tough season on all fronts.
Mm-hmm. I think the bookies will tell you where they think we're going to finish in the bottom 4 or 5. I think it is, but we're probably in the bottom 4 or 5 budgets. But it means nothing. We feel that if we can get the right recruitment in, if we can get the right personalities, players, and the right structure, you never know. No, we're not stupid enough to think that we'll be all right. It's not the case. You need to put the work in. So that's. It's Cheltenham Town. At the end of the day, we're not Bradford City. We're not going to get 11,000-12,000 through the door. But I think we've shown last year that we can compete if we can get the right people in.
Season ticket sales up by 33%. You must be really pleased to hear that there's been that level of success, and of course potentially it could boost every facet of the club, really.
Well, it's hopefully we can build on the end of last season. If we can. I think it'd be difficult to keep the home form the way it was, but if we can maintain a strong home form and then add to our away form, you never know where it might take you. But we might lose the first 3 games of the season. It's about doing the right thing all the time and not panicking, good or bad. So if we win the first 3, we're not going to get carried away. Still got to put the work in, because we have to punch above our weight. At every game, we won't be favourites for many games we play next year. Not that it means anything. Bookies get it wrong quite often. I've got promoted in teams that were favourites for relegation at Burnley. So I don't get too obsessed with the outside world. I'm more interested in what's going on within these four walls and on the training pitch. And if you can do it right enough, and you do it right often enough, and you work hard often enough, then the result quite often takes care of itself.